Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. On this channel, we cut through the hype and the noise, and I give you the non-biased information you can use to hopefully capitalize on the biggest opportunity in history, and that is this current bull run. Now, guys, I don't always tell you what you want to hear, and I get a lot of hate for that. But now, guys, we understand just how much misinformation we've all been getting. Now, I did a video where I sold all my ISO tokens like 6 months ago except LINK and HBAR. Well, that's because I had a good understanding from all my research and deep dives of what ISO was all about. So, it was brutal trying to dig through all the ISO influencers and the Ripple XRP influencers that said, Ripple and XRP is going to take over Swift. Well, guys, guess what? The banking reset for Swift and the messaging system and all of that has happened. I don't know why all those influencers are not talking about it, because it's massive and it's not in testnet. It's live. The first day they did 555,000 transactions and $1.8 trillion. And now they are set up to literally move quadrillions over the years. Now, I'm not going to dive into all how it's set up, but I will tell you this. The only ISO so-called banking token that is affiliated and being used with Swift and the ISO system is LINK. So we're going to talk about LINK in this video and take a look at the chart, and I'll give you my thoughts why LINK's not exploding and if it's still a good bet. But hey, let's dive into the news for the people that want real information. And hopefully you didn't get too wrecked from the misinformation that we've been all getting in the last couple of years. Now, if you want some more information, go to theclearinghouse.org. You can read all about what they've been up to. You can also go to Swift and find out what they're up to and see where they talk about LINK. And then you can also, if you really want to dig into it, you can go to JP Morgan's website and see how they're using ISO messaging system. Now, for the most part, I just want to give you the simple version of what's going on with Swift. Now, Swift is one of the powerhouses and has the infrastructure and the protocol that all the banks around the world use. Well, when crypto came out, there was a lot of players talking about how they were going to be part of Swift. And to be honest, guys, it wasn't normally the foundations in crypto outside of like Link talking about it, but there was hundreds and hundreds of influencers that don't understand how Swift works or how the banking system is set up. And they fed us, made up crazy charts and everything, talking about how when Swift does move into the future, if Ripple and XRP doesn't take it over, that all those tokens are going to explode. Well, the reason you're not seeing an explosion is they're not being used. Now, here's what's happening. The banks did not want to get rid of Swift, and it's already set up. It's very solid, and they just moved into the future. They use Link as the gateway. And here's why messaging is so important and how all of that's going to basically work. I'm not a developer, but this is the simplified plan from Wall Street and the legacy banks. Is they're going to continue to use Link's messaging system. Link's going to be the gateway, and all the assets throughout the world are going to be tokenized. The bank accounts with the legacy banks, all the money, all the assets, everything. Well, that's going to need messaging. Everything is, for the most part, is going to be like atomic settlement with a messaging system. It's going to be like turn into a smart contract, and it's going to run on the same platform, same infrastructure that the banks have used for what, 50, 60, 75 years or whatever. They didn't want to change it. They wanted to implement it and stack on top of the system. Well, guys, I hate to tell you, but HBAR, IOTA, XRP, XLM, Quant, none of that is affiliated with this new ISO reset. Now, if you don't believe me, you can watch this entire video and do the research I did, but I want to give you a clip from Chainlink. And he basically says what I did, but I know how people want to, get the true information directly from the source, and half the people won't believe it then. So I'm just going to give you like a minute clip, and then we'll take a look at the chart at Link, and I'll tell you why Link's not pumping and if I think it will. So listen to this.
That the SWIFT private keys that are so widely adopted and considered secure enough to move and transact in quadrillions of dollars in value don't need to be replaced. They can be reused for signing blockchain transactions, and this is an efficient way to get hundreds of trillions of dollars from the SWIFT community into the blockchain format instead of all of those thousands of banks and SWIFT members having to pull out their system and replace it with something which, frankly, banks simply don't do. Banks do not rip things out. Banks layer, right?
Guys, I've been saying that for 2 years. The very first video I ever made for my channel, because of my background with Bear Stearns and another company I worked for, I understood that whether I like it or not, that the legacy banks, Wall Street, and the governments, primarily the US governments, are going to dominate all of crypto. But I knew it was a no-brainer that there's no way, shape, or form any company or any small foundation is going to create technology to overthrow the JP Morgans of the world. It's just impossible. And, this is not like when Netflix overtook Blockbusters, because the legacy banks have been having a roadmap for 10 years on where to go to keep their dominance. And not only are they going to become more dominant, they are so far in the lead, they can't be beat. They have all the customers when this tokenized assets come, and they're going to use their systems. They're going to control everything and then some, like they always have. Now, for the most part, in the future, as blockchains grow and the need is there, when we need the interoperability of tokenized assets, when you buy and sell and have custodials, custodial companies involved or banks involved, and they'll probably be a custodial company in the future. But when all that really becomes something, which is going to take, guys, years and years, probably 10 years before we even get going good, unfortunately, other blockchains, any other blockchain, will be able to be ISO certified and tie in to the network. But like I have been saying for 2 years, FedNow, SWIFT, all the legacy banks, they're all going to be on their own basic protocols, their own networks. And these other projects, whether it's XRP or HBAR or any other project that is going to tokenize assets in the future, will tie in to those systems. That might help them get their share, but Link and the legacy banks and SWIFT are going to benefit like 98% of what matters. And blockchains can come and go, protocols can come and go, new technology can come and go, but Web3 for SWIFT and for the legacy banks is here. You need to understand that, and you also need to understand that, guys. It's going to happen in DeFi. It's going to happen in gaming. It's going to happen in pretty much every aspect of crypto. It's hard to build technology. Like I hear the ICP Army saying, we got the best tech. The whole world's going to use it. No, they're not, guys. They have the customers. They have the power. They have the technology. They have anything they need to just use their controllable systems. And yes, there's going to be projects like Link, which is obvious they may have a future, right? Unless some technology comes out. They've been working with Swift for over 7 years. They've been locked in for 7 years, guys. Anyway, let's take a look at the chart of Chainlink. Now, I did a video, I don't know, a year and a half ago when I did my deep dive on ISO, and I understood that Chainlink was going to be the gateway. So at the time, I thought like the HBARs and XRP and XLM were all going to be tied in, and they still may be, along with 1,000 other blockchains in the future. And we're not talking about tomorrow, but every time anything goes in and out of Swift, all those banks, it's going to go through Link in and out. Link could absolutely explode. Now, why hasn't it exploded in this chart for the bull run? Now, it did pretty good. It came out and ripped in 2021, had a great bull run, and it did pretty well in this bull run. And I believe if I had to hodl, which I will never hodl anything outside of Bitcoin, or at least for this bull run to the next one, Chainlink would be on that short list. I believe Chainlink still will take out its all-time high because of the demand when we get into altcoin season, and as tokenized assets get heated up, I think the Link's going to get heated up. But why hasn't it pumped harder? Well, it's the same scenario. And guys, I'm going to explain it to you. But if you're not familiar with Masari, you need to go there and you need to learn tokenomics. And once you understand tokenomics, you will understand how unsophisticated it is to hodl like 99.9% of any projects. Now, why hasn't Link pumped to a new all-time high already or close to it? Well, if you look at the supply increase, it has basically doubled since the last pump in 2021. So what that means is not only does Link have to, or not only do we not want Link to make a new all-time high, but the market cap, basically the volume, the new money has to double, right? So if we get halfway to the all-time high, roughly, and this is just roughly trying to make it explain it, at $52, well, if you cut that down to say $26, $27, that will be the all-time high market cap wise, not price wise. And that's what you have to understand. When you go back and want to know why, for instance, Ripple or XLM and our countless projects, and maybe HBAR doesn't do it this bull run, why they haven't and didn't make a new all-time high in the last bull run, it's because of the tokenomics, right? The supply greatly increased. And just like all these new projects that are coming out, like I just did a video on Rio and Goldfinch. Now, Goldfinch has pretty good tokenomics, but Rio could absolutely rip in this bull run, but it only has like 12% of the supply out there. So we know two things for sure in that example is no matter how far it rips in this bull run, it's going to come back. Because in the bear market, when the volume dies and retail goes away and everything starts to slow down, it's going to keep increasing that supply. And that's why these older blockchains can't make new all-time highs. Even though if you do the math a lot of projects might make a new all-time high market cap wise, but price wise, which affects us, it doesn't even have to come close to have made a new all-time high. So guys, you got to understand tokenomics. Anyway, hopefully this helps you guys. And guys, I hate that we've all been lied to. I didn't know when I got into crypto and when I dove into the ISO tokens like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, that there were so many lies, so much misinformation. I mean, people created charts and very sophisticated, and they looked like the real deal of how like Algorand and XRP and Quant and Link and all were going to be tied together and how the banks had to use them and all that. I fell for it. I made videos on it. But as I kept diving, because I wanted to go from putting a little bit of money into some serious money, well, as I started to do my deep dives, I started to realize that most of these influencers, especially for the ISO and the XRP and that whole group, they didn't have a clue about the banking system. I used to work for Bear Stearns. I've been behind the scenes, and I'm old enough to know that you do not take from the most powerful organizations in the world. I don't like JP Morgan. I don't like Jamie Dimon. I don't like Larry Fink at BlackRock. But unfortunately, they will dominate whatever they want to dominate, and you don't take from the biggest lions in the world that have all the power and all the money. That being said, hopefully this helped. Hit the like button, share with like-minded people. And guys, if you need some help with your crypto portfolio, I do one-on-one coaching. It's only $250 for 3 phone or Zoom calls. And I'll help you get the real information you need, point you in the right direction. If you need to learn how to compare these projects or understand tokenomics, I got you. Now, whether you take me up on that or not, do yourself a favor, and it's not financial advice, but get a game plan and get a game plan of not just when to take profits like time wise or amount wise. Get a game plan to take profits along the way, because we don't know. Well, first of all, we don't know for sure that we're going to have an explosive altcoin season. I believe we are, but we don't know when it's going to end. And when it's going to end, it's going to look just like this right here. And if you look from that date right there, 5/9, I think that's what it said, to 7/15, boom. Think about it, guys. You're going to have like a month and a half max. It could happen 2 or 3 weeks of deciding whether you're going to take profits. But if you have a better game plan and you take profits along the way and you play the downside, you can be in that 10% of people that make money. And because 90% of all people watching this video and that are investing in crypto are going to lose money. The good news is, if you find some people you can trust and you get the information you need and you take those profits, you can be in that 10%, guys. But be careful who you listen to. So come back, be part of this community. We're going to figure it out. So subscribe. Take care, guys.